Welcome, my peeps, my peoples. Please like, comment, subscribe, share the video. It'll be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peeps, my peoples. So let's talk about what's going on with Cameron. Cameron is in the hospital. He was in the hospital, but I guess, he's out. He's been released from the hospital. And actually, he Instagrammed, him and a gurney at the hospital, basically apologizing to all his fans to say that he won't be there on May 3rd. So it's like, damn, what is really going on with Cameron? Like, what's happening with Cameron? Is he okay? What's good with him? Because you're like, damn, you already have Rick Ross having these seizures and all this other stuff. So you just be like, damn, now Cameron's in the hospital this month. Not too long ago, it was just Rick Ross. So I guess Cameron didn't release any information of the reason why he was in the hospital or anything like that. He said it's just a shock to him and his family while he's in the hospital. But also, a lot of people had a lot of things to say about Cameron back in the day. I think it was February of 2002 when Cameron lost a lot of weight. People was like, oh, what is he doing? And people were saying that he was drinking and partying and things like that. Some people said some other foul things about Cameron, saying that he was sick or something like that, allegedly. But anyways, look, well, we hope Cameron gets well, blase in the third. And it's just like, damn, like what's going on with Dipset? And then now you have, Juelz, he wrote a letter to the judge basically asking the judge and asking the court system if he can actually travel and move around, because right now he's on home confinement because Juelz Santana, reportedly brought a loaded gun to the airport, and he was trying to get on his flight, and so basically he was arrested, but he ran. They said he ran too, and he was trying to get on a plane with a loaded gun, and so the rapper was released on $500,000 bond or whatever. So I guess they had to put up some property. So he's on home confinement and he's staying with his mother. So, but basically, he was asking the judge, or his lawyers asked the judge, "Hey, listen, I need permission to travel outside of New Jersey because I need to make money. I make my money with touring. I got to support my children. I got to support my girlfriend, Kimbella. I got to do all this other stuff. So." It also seems it's important for him to travel and tour now because he needs the right representation in court, because he could be facing some time. He could be facing anywhere from 3 years to about 20 years, some of the reports say. So you really don't know how long he might be facing, but he's going to need a lawyer, and he's going to need to have a good lawyer, somebody that can actually represent him and know the system and help him out in any way, shape, and form, because it's like, damn, he's a father of kids. It's like, yo, why did he go to the airport with a loaded gun? What happened? Was it his gun? Was it somebody else's gun? Was he set up? What's going on? Because Juelz is not a little child, but it's just like, okay, it's just like, damn, what's good? And then now you got Jim Jones. He's on marriage boot camp, family addiction, basically trying to get his life right with his mom and with his girlfriend, Chrissy. So it also seems like, that Dipset was supposed to be bigger than what they are. Like this isn't supposed to happen to them. Like they were supposed to have humongous careers like Jay-Z, careers like Nas, careers like Kanye West. Are supposed to have a really long prosperous career, but it seems like it crashed and burned. And it seemed like it crashed and burned for a lot of Rockefeller performers, like Beanie Siegel. Memphis Bleak, he's okay because he's Jay-Z's best friend, but like Oskino and Petey and what is his name, Freeway and O'Malley, I believe, and you got Chris and Neef, Young Gunners, and the female rap, I can't think of her name. I did have her on the list, but you'll see the pictures above. Like it seems like when Rockefeller separated, a lot of people got the short end of the stick. It seemed like people from State Property, the Philly sector of Rockefeller got the bad taste. Like they got the short end of the stick, because it seems like when Damon Dash and Jay-Z parted and separated, a lot of artists didn't come back on. Like you didn't see them anymore. Like they wasn't popping. You didn't see them do songs with Jay-Z. You didn't see Jay-Z doing songs with them. It's like they totally separate. I know Dipset had their little thing going back and forth with Jigga and all that other good stuff, and then they end up having internal beef too as well, Cameron and Jim Jones, and I believe Juelz Santana was in the middle. So then you had what's his name, the Broad Street Bully. He ended up getting locked up, and he was supposed to be on, the judge will release him from jail if actually Jay-Z would, take responsibility for him or say that he was going to stay at his house or something like that. So it's just like, Beanie Siegel went down, you know then, the clothing that they had, he said that he lost money out on that. The cars that Jay-Z rented for him, they were like, car payments he had to pay. So, and Oskino talks too that he was, selling rocks and selling drugs while he had a record deal at, at I was just like, damn, this shit's crazy. Like, it seems like they all should have been much bigger because they was all rapping. They all stood for something, and it was like their careers were supposed to, elevate and go high, and then you just don't hear about these rappers no more, and really that much. But they did have, they stood for something. They did have some type of morals and values or respect, whether they was talking about violence or not. But they did have like some type of code. They had a code where you don't really see a code today, and it's crazy how everybody that was was down with Rockefeller, and at that time and point, even Kanye West, the state property, and all the different fractions they had of of the record company. It just seems like with Rockefeller, like the person that gained the most, that career elevated to the highest, was Kanye West, and everybody else career fell down and forgotten about, really. And that person that elevate the most, even though Kanye is very creative, he's good with music and all this other stuff, he's good at sampling, he's good at everything when it comes to making music, but he doesn't really have any principle. So it's just like, damn, like, he's the one out of all these names that made it, you know what I mean? But he was supposed to make it, that was gonna happen. But these other rappers and female artists, they did make it as well, because at one point in time they was shining, they did have a career. It's just like they're forgotten about. We don't hear about them. I don't hear about them touring. I don't hear them coming to my city, or or my state, or anywhere around me or close to me. So, and it seems like Juelz Santana and Dissep should have been like really still popping, still going, because they are still young men. So, but Juelz is asking, he's pleading his case to a judge, asking for help. You know what I mean? Like, hey, I need to tour, I need to get around, I need to make it, I need legal defenses. So, but you see how Jay-Z, he's at a different place in his life. He owns just everything, basically. He owns a lot. But you see how he's standing firm with Meek Millz. I know it has to bother Beanie Siegel some way, somehow, because Jay-Z didn't stand firm next to him. You know what I mean? So I don't know. I don't know how they feel about the situation, but I'm just like, damn, this shit's crazy. Because like all of these artists that were down with Rockefeller, career should have soared and should have went farther, whether it was their own doing or whether they got the short end of the stick, or they were blackballed, or nobody didn't want to hear their music anymore, or basically something went wrong, something happened. And it's just like it was good music. It was really good music, and I did enjoy the music. So anyways, that's just like my little tidbit. Seeing Juelz, Jim Jones on Marriage Boot Camp, Cameron in the hospital, Beanie Siegel taking the L's, going at Meek Millz, and just crazy. So anyways, peace. I'm out. One love.